Welcome to Choosing to Matter Cocktails with Chris, a space for open, honest, and unhurried conversations. In today's episode, we sit down with someone who's shaping our world with purpose and passion. I'm your host, Chris Lubkeman. Join me as we explore how our guest has chosen and chooses to matter. Dear listeners, for today's conversation, I'm truly pleased and honored to be joined by Darco Cazin. Darco is a self-professed child of the Alps. He's a citizen of the wonderful Engadine Valley and a founder of Allegra Turismos. We've invited him here today to share his love for the mountains, his innovative work in the field of sustainable ecotourism and mountain biking, and to hear more about his story and his choices on his path. So welcome. Darco, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks. So how would you introduce yourself to our listeners in one sentence?
I drink my coffee black.
I love it. Yeah, that's really good. So before we get to the coffee, we're going to come back to that one. Tell me more about Allegra Turismos.
So Allegra today, it's a company. It's actually multiple companies.
Okay.
And it was my means, my instrument to contribute something to life in the Alps, right? Mm-hmm. You said, I say this myself, I'm a pretty typical child of the Alps. Mm-hmm. If you look at my life, my background, mm-hmm. Where I'm now, with 47, and I always wanted to give something back to the Alps, because growing up in this time, in my generation in the Alps, it's a very privileged position.
Mm-hmm. How so? How so privileged?
Because if you look at it globally, very rich, mm-hmm. got to travel a lot, got to meet a lot of people from all over the world. Mm-hmm. Everybody speaks at least 4, 5, 6 languages. So super privileged, right? Mm-hmm. And I was always aware that this is not the natural state of the Alps. The natural state of the Alps was poverty. Mm-hmm. But in the last century, depending on where you look in the Alps, there's been tremendous progress and privilege for kids mm-hmm. like me, or when I was a kid. And so I was aware this came, through all sorts of tourism, through all sorts of mm-hmm. innovation, and I wanted to do my part. And so I was always looking, what can I contribute? And then I found mountain biking and cycling as my instrument. But it was never about cycling or mountain biking. It was never about being an entrepreneur, which I turned out to be, but it was about contributing to a good life for the people in the Alps. Mm-hmm. That was the goal. And so Allegra, that's what you asked for, is just the companies that were the vehicle to do that. And now there's Allegra in Finland, in France, in Japan, in Austria. But that was more like a consequence than a target.
And Allegra, what is the word? Tell me about the word Allegra.
So my native tongue is Romansh. Mm-hmm. And Allegra is the way we greet each other. And it means be cheerful, cheer up, Zuversicht in German, right? And so it comes from this old legend where life was hard in the mountains, right? Mm-hmm. And it was about people were freezing, people were hungry, and people were maybe not in a good mood. And so it was an agreement that every time we would meet, or that people would meet, we would cheer each other up.
To lift each other up.
Exactly. And so that's what we would do through our greeting. And so that's why Allegra is our greeting. And Allegra means cheer up, have a positive mindset for today and for the future. So that's what Allegra means. And that's what's also at the core of the companies.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I really didn't know that. And Romansh is essentially spoken Latin in many ways.
It's very similar. Yeah,
it's just it's a spoken Latin. So it's one of the older
It's very old.
Very old language. And this is, so you said it's your mother tongue, and it's just spoken in a very small part of Switzerland, and very few people speak the Romansh.
Very few, yes.
Yes, it's good. So the name of the podcast is Choosing to Matter. The subtitle is Cocktails with Chris. We have today a cocktail. What is it?
It's a Virgin Martino Espresso, or Virgin Espresso Martino.
A Virgin Espresso Martini. And why do we have this today?
We have it because I'm very bad at cocktails.
Okay.
Because this was actually suggested by us.
By the bartender.
By the person, exactly. And it just goes to show I have no ideas about cocktails. I never drink cocktails. Not even a tomato juice, not even a juice. I'm back again, I drink my coffee black and I drink water from the tap or from the river, that's it.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. So listen, I'll tell you what. I do like that. That's quite interesting. You said there's a purity. There's a purity, and very often one thinks of, and those in the mountains, of burning their own schnapps and having, potato vodka that you make.
Yes.
But this is not you.
No, this is not me.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. I like my coffee black because I like coffee. And I don't like the double pump of a flavor and cream and sugar and whatnot. And I like things in general. Generally, I think it's a good description. I like things that are pure in their essence, that are straightforward, simple, so to speak, and I find great beauty in them.
When did you start drinking coffee? Where did this love of coffee come from?
Pretty late, not during university. I remember during university, I did not drink coffee during the breaks. It was not until I got deeper into the cycling community and cycling world, where the love of coffee is very extensive and you can find coffee everywhere. So the triathletes, they wake up in the morning and have an espresso before they go for their practice. From my part of the biking culture, it's more, going from valley to valley in the backcountry. And in the Alps, you will always find an Alp or a pasture or somebody that has hot water and maybe just even an instant coffee or a coffee made in the mocha. So my love for coffee came through the mocha in the outdoors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great association. I didn't drink coffee until after university was finished
You as well. Yes.
Yeah, no. Didn't touch it. I was afraid of it.
Right.
I was afraid of it. It's interesting. Well, let us have a toast. A toast to you and to the purity of the mountains and to clean water.
And to year 2040.
And to year 2040. We're going to drink that. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Even bad at drinking it, see.
It's actually...
But it's good. It's quite strong. The coffee is strong.
And there's more than coffee in that one.
Yes.
which is great. So I appreciate that. So let's talk a little more about you. How would your grandparents describe what you do now?
It's not that long that my last grandmother passed. Right? It's only a couple of years. And she always said, I'm up in the clouds, I'm up in the clouds, like spending my time in the clouds, in my head. Yes, yes. But she also said that in a way that it's a very good thing. She was not like that. She was, farming at home, daughter of the local police guardian, not policeman at the time, police officer. And very attached to the territory and the earthly things, and I was always the opposite. And she always liked that, and I think she would say, looking at me today, she would still say that. I think he's spending his time in the clouds.
Interesting. And what about your grandfather?
My grandfather would probably say that there could be, a bit of harder skin on my hands. I actually learned to build hiking trails with him. And so in my companies, I ended up also developing trails. So going back into that trade, I think he would really have liked that.
Yeah.
But he would still encourage me, to get my hands dirty a bit more.
A bit more.
Yes.
Interesting. That's really, and how would you describe to them, to your grandmother, what would you say to her? Say, Grandma, this is what I do today. How would you describe it to her?
I would tell her that she might not realize how the way she lived offers a lot of hope and connection for people all around the world. And if she shared her ways of living, that today that might connect to a lot of people. So I think I'm not doing things that are that different than just maybe introducing people to a way of living that's very natural to the Alps, and that's very natural to her. But since it was so natural to her, she would probably need some time to grasp how her simple life can be of interest to anybody else outside of her valley.
Or to inspire others
Yes.
to look at life slightly differently than they might.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That really is. I appreciate that very much. So would you say it was fate or design that brought you to where you are today? Was it a plan or was it sort of coincidence? What was it? Did you have a plan or was it sort of one thing led to the next?
So I think, 30 years ago, I would clearly have answered that question with, it was my design. It's due to my decisions, my work, my hustle, my whatever.
Yeah.
Now with 47, I'm more on the other side. I'm like, I recognize myself more as a outcome of things that have interweaved. The land I'm from, my ancestors, the time I was born into, the coincidences, fates, destinies, they came together. I might have given some nudges in a direction or the other, but today I don't believe there's a design. I didn't have a plan. I knew what I wanted, what kind of effect I wanted to have. And that has manifested. But I didn't ask that much about how it came to be. It just came to be.
So when you were 16, plus or minus 15, 16, what did you want to do?
I wanted to have an impact for the Alps. And we tried already during school, we tried all sorts. When I was a teenager, snowboarding came up. And so we organized snowboarding contests. We organized a bar or a small restaurant in the ski resort with all sorts of these kind of things. I was always like self-employed, doing my own thing. And even during my studies, I went this route. I was always earning my money as a self-taught graphic designer, as a snowboard instructor. And I tried all these alleys. I always tried to find the grasp. I always got to travel a lot. I like to be outside of the Alps. Outside, I like to be in like the big cities. I like to be in the big crowds. But I always wanted to bring something back. And I always looked, since the very beginning, since I remember, I was looking for this contribution to bring home. And I found it. Yeah.
Interesting. So you said the big cities. So when you say you traveled a lot, where, like all over Asia, North America, South America, Africa?
So my dad was in sales. And so he was a lot in the north, in Germany, in England. So we got to go to the cities. And we didn't just go to Paris or London. We also went to Velbert in the Ruhrgebiet. He would never go there for vacation. Sure. And I loved, he would go for a business meeting and I would just roam around the city. And wherever I was. And a lot of times those were, you know, the industrialized parts of a city, not the Bahnhofstraße. And I really liked that. And then one thing led to the other. When I was 10, 11, my parents moved to Trentino and worked there. So we spent a lot of time in Milano, in Trento, those areas. Then I went to Phoenix, Arizona for an exchange year in high school.
Okay.
And then before university, I went to Germany for another year. Then I went to Barcelona, and I did my studies here in Zurich, though.
Okay.
And then came fascinations with Japan, and there's even an Allegra in Japan.
What?
And a lot of that fascination is just because Japan is one of the most incredible places I have ever visited.
Yeah.
And so, I'm fascinated by the different ways people live together and how they organize that, and how many ways there is to live together in a positive way, right? So if you take Tokyo or Phoenix, Arizona, completely different, but happy people on both sides.
Yeah. I think that's a really, really, really interesting point. As you said, sort of growing up so where did you grow up in Pontresina?
No, I grew up in Valmy-Steyr, so just an hour from La Punt. But again, so from La Punt, Pontresina, La Punt, then you continue that valley, another pass, and then you're on the Swiss side of the Stelvio Pass.
Yeah.
So Italy is on the other side. So very, very closer to Italy than to La Punt, for instance.
And that's quite far away from
what?
the big city.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. 'Cause
Yes.
it's interesting how you've had these two parts, as you've just described. One thing is attraction to a different city, different places, and how collections of humans organize themselves to find happiness, and how we find happiness in those places depending on the context of that place and that time.
Yes. Yes.
And that's actually that's really interesting.
Yes.
And how from literally a little tiny village.
Yes, very tiny.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I know where it is.
Smaller than La Punt, much smaller than La Punt.
It's a tiny, beautiful, abgelegen, when saying in German, you know, it's really, and yet here's this fascination with the opposite, right? Which is very interesting to me. So you went to school in Zurich, you went to university in Zurich. Where did you do your high school?
In the Lyceum, in Suarez.
In Suarez,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Yep.
With a year in Phoenix.
Yep.
And I did 4 years at the Lyceum.
Okay. And so you went to study at the university in Zurich?
Yes, and then again was craving another exchange, and so went to Barcelona for a year.
And what were you studying?
In Barcelona.
Or both places? I'm just kind of curious.
But I can tell you what my diploma says. My diploma says Master of Arts, right?
Okay.
And it was just in the transition to the Bologna system. It would have been a Lit.Ök, so economics, right? But since it was just in that transition, I was so free to do all sorts of things. So Spanish and tourism and other things are in that. Within the field of economics, it's a mess. So I couldn't decide for anything. So there's a bit of marketing, there's a bit of,
accounting and a bit of this, and
econometry, all sorts of things. I just went with my nose. I had a great time. So
that's great. But you always had tourism and something to do with tourism in the back of your head?
Yes. Yes.
That was there.
Yes, that was definitely. And I think that's just the upbringing of the Alps. And besides, I'm aware of over-tourism and all these images of the negative effects that tourism has. But I'm, of course, I got to experience firsthand a lot of positive effects that tourism has, and I'm still convinced by them. And so that was always there, always trying to find something in that field.
And so when did the finding happen? When did you decide or discover Allegra tourism? What was the...
So with my mom, my mom always had this dream of running a hotel, right? And she was actually signed up for hotel school in Lucerne when she was 19. And then she got pregnant, right, with my older sister. So the plans of running a hotel changed, right? And she took him back up when she was about my age, in around year 99, 2000. She had this opportunity to take over this hotel in where I grew up, in Valmisteyr. So she did that, but it was closed, had no guests. There's not a lot of tourism there. And so my dad and I helped her, how can we fill this hotel?
Sure.
And I was studying here at the time, and looking at different markets, we ran into mountain biking. And that's how Allegra came to be, because I then started developing the mountain biking offer in that hotel, became a guide, got immersed in that world, and noticed no destination realizes the potential for summer tourism that lies in mountain biking. So I decided somebody needs to open a consultancy agency for this specific niche. And so that's how I did it. And I was lucky enough that at the time, in the WG, the shared apartment I lived, I had an old friend. I had a friend, he wasn't old back then, who was already an entrepreneur, right?
Okay.
In the internet field and all of that. But he kind of showed me, look, if you want to do this, setting up your own company might be a good idea. And he introduced me to entrepreneurship. My goal was not to become an entrepreneur. It was just a vehicle to get there. And that's how I started. And I started here in Zurich. The day I handed in my master thesis, I called a taxi, loaded my computer, went to Magareal, had a phone, and started.
Okay.
I couldn't wait. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's really cool. I mean, I like how you said, and how you really said, well, my goal was not just to start a company.
No, not at all.
My goal was, in this case, to help your family and help your mom also partially realize her dream.
Yes, that's a big factor in it, I think.
Right.
In retrospective, maybe a bit of guilt plays into that, like wanting to pay back not only the community in the Alps, but also the parents.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say guilt. I think that's a wonderful thing, just actually to say, well, Mom, you sacrificed a lot for me.
Yes.
So now I want to help you. And
Yes.
it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that sort of in time, like sort of give and take, and to think about that. And so that started the mountain biking tourism
Development.
And that wave you were able to ride, literally and figuratively, let's just say. And so how did, as you're saying that, how did you see that impacting your beautiful Alps? Because now you have these people riding these two-wheeled all over. Was it doing what you were hoping to, or is there more?
Much more.
Yeah.
Much more than I could ever have expected, yeah. And it manifests in, we can go into numbers, overnight stays, frequencies, all of that. But it manifests in people riding their bikes and smiling, being happy, and small children.
Yeah.
People on the other side of life, so after retirement, and everyone in the middle. People that come to visit, but also local people. Where I live now, and all the places where we have worked, it has also become part of the identity of the local people. Like skiing is in the winter, or cross-country skier, or whatever it is. And that's really satisfying to observe. So sometimes when I go into destinations where Allegra has worked, I like to just sit and observe.
That's
and
right.
Really.
It's kind of interesting because for me, there's a certain. It's so obvious that the summer season would include bikes. I mean, and to me, this is the beauty of things. Like as a designer, when you see a new design that's been implemented someplace, and 6 months later you kind of look at it and you kind of go, of course, that's been there forever.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so obvious it should be or should have been. To me, this is biking is the same for me, but it wasn't. When you grew up, it didn't exist.
It didn't exist. It didn't exist in that dimension. But even when I started, right, with Allegra, it was clear what was going to happen with the ski resorts, with the trajectory we were on, with climate change, right? And yet nobody believed it. I can't believe that now still, when you go to a congress maybe of ski resorts, they're like, this climate thing, I think we have to do something about the summer, where we had the numbers and the facts on charts more than 20, 30 years ago. It shouldn't come as a surprise.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is something I think we do in general, just knowing doesn't move us much. We need more than gentle nudges to actually get us moving. But just from a design point of view, from knowledge, it's totally obvious. It's not wizardry at all.
No, I think this is very clear. But when we're just working in our heads, very few people will do a whole lot of action just because of their heads. It has to hit their hearts.
Yes. Yes.
When you begin to belief is in your heart. It's not in your head. And when you really truly believe, and you go but when you started, that was before e-bikes.
Yes, a long time before e-bikes.
Right. So you've also observed an incredible evolution just in this sport.
In the bike itself,
In the bike itself, which has changed quite again. The flavor of the tourism, which you've been able to observe. How has it changed?
Oh, in so many ways. On the bike itself, on the technology, on the experience. Most of all, it's made the biking experience more inclusive. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So when we think about these choices, again, this is choices to matter. We think back over that evolution. What were some of the key choices which you made during the evolution of Allegra that you said had the most impact?
The first choice was just start, just try and do. So take my computer and move out to Magareal and just try it, and have no plan. But also being aware that with 25 years old after university, you don't have a lot of obligations. So if this doesn't work,
It's okay. Yeah.
Second of it, I think, was deciding to not become, we have this in writing, to not become part of the cycling scene, which means I wanted at all cost to not become an idiot in my own bubble. None of my closest friends I know through cycling. It was always very important to me to have a life outside of cycling, to not have this thing become my one and only, right? It's cycling, it's beautiful. Mountain biking is beautiful, I cherish it, but it's only mountain biking. Allegra is only Allegra. It's not me, right? I'm Darco, and this is Allegra, separate things.
Interesting.
And so I wrote this down after, I think, the first year or so.
Okay.
And the third decision was taking on a partner. I took on a partner, Claude, who's still now running all the Allegra businesses. And at the beginning, for me, starting as a one-man show, I did everything. And I always, for too long, I thought I have to be decent at everything, instead of just focusing on what I'm good at and having people do all the other things. So entrepreneurial, that goes to show I'm not a great entrepreneur. And then when I found Claude, I had a great entrepreneur with me, so that was definitely one of the best choices I made, so I could do my own thing. And then also, there's a lot of other people at Allegra now who are great at different things, and they can do their own thing.
Those are three really nice things, because on one hand, you say just try. Mm-hmm. If you don't try, you can't win, you can't lose. What's really interesting to me, Darco, when I'm hearing you talk about that, is some of the different decisions that you made along the way. Mm. And if you look back, I mean, what do you think was the turning point from Allegra going through? No, I might ask you this thing. When you're looking back at all of these, what are you the most proud of?
The most proud of?
Yeah, what are you most proud of?
I know exactly what I'm most proud of.
Okay.
Today, Allegra, and 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting of 2 days with people who work at Allegra today. They do different things. Mm. And they're all hungry. They're all inspired. Mm. They want to design, they want to create, they want to have impact with a very positive intention. Mm-hmm. And to have created a space or a container, a playing field where they can do that.
That's cool.
That's cool. That makes me proud.
Yeah.
That makes me proud. That gives me a good feeling.
Yeah. Mm. As you said, to create a space for so many other individuals to also, in their way,
exactly,
to continue that positive.
It's not my way. It's different things. It's not how I would have done it. It's much better. Mm-hmm. But just to observe that, and from time to time having a small glimpse into that. Oh, what are they doing? That makes me proud. Yes.
Yeah, I understand. I appreciate that very, very much. So, what's your vision for the future? What do you see? What excites you about the future?
Oh, a lot of things. Ooh, what excites me? A lot of things. I think there's so much beauty to be witnessed in all developments of human endeavors, be it migration, be it technology, be it connection of people, observing the generations that are younger than I am, observing the generations that are older than I am, having my generation that's kind of like, it's just there, relaxed.
Don't be so bad.
and observes. Yeah, but that's my perspective. Yeah. There's so much to share. There's so many things. I'm very positive about the world that my kids grow up in. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have 2 kids?
3.
3 kids?
How 13, 11, and 9.
13, 11, and 9. So they're growing up in a very different world. They're not growing up in Clamoucher.
No.
They're growing up in Pontresina, which is, for those who don't know, a smaller city, a bigger town.
A resort town.
It's a resort town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very different time. What are you doing now to help make sure that their future is the best it can be? I'm
stopping to do things. I try to stop a lot of things in my own life.
For example?
I think being more present, being a better witness of other people, becoming still. I think there's great power, not only in silence for our ears, but in becoming silent together. I think it's all here. I think like we said before, we know enough. We have enough. and we also are enough. I think we're very driven still, or my generation, I think most of us are still very driven of optimizing our life and doing this and doing that and being part of this movement and doing this and optimizing this and being a good lover, a good dad, a good entrepreneur, which so often is just justifying our own existence. And we don't have to do that. And I think if we recognize that we have all of these things, especially in our part of the world as the privileged ones, we should really think about, what else can we do with that extra time and wealth that we have? Do we want to keep to just spend it on consumption and have the winter jacket number 14? Or do we say, no, maybe it's okay if I work 2 days a week and the rest of the time I'm really going to be present with other people and invite other people to come along, because there has to be something else if we want to go into a new expression in the future. And I think we know that's what we're looking for. I feel we're pretty tired of some roads that we have taken as a society.
I think that's actually very interesting, because as Einstein famously said, you can't solve tomorrow's problems or today's problems with yesterday's solutions. We have to look for new things. Einstein might have not said that, but how do we find the moment to think about the choices which we need to make, or the choices we're making? And this is something which you've said is, you've now decided to slow down. Was there a certain moment where you just said, okay?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
So in one time there was this purpose-driven Allegra thing that was my goal. And all of a sudden I realized it's here, it's manifest. I've done that beautiful feeling. At the same time, it's like, okay, so I've done this, now what, right? My dad said, this is just midlife crisis. It might be, I don't know. But crisis is also an opportunity, right?
Sure,
they say. And then it was, we did a switch in our family, right? So I was always working almost full time, my wife a little less, and then we changed. And so I went on and became a stay-at-home dad. And so I really took the space to spend more time in the clouds again. I think, hey, what's going on here? And then after some times I was overwhelmed. I had the feeling I need to do something again, right? Because I'm trained to, I have to be of value to you. I have to do something of value, justifying my existence, instead of then realizing, no, maybe I don't. Maybe we can just be silent together and just witnessing each other's beauty. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we have to relearn that. And so it was a process. But today I'm working a very small amount of hours in the terms I was thinking. Taught. I spend a lot of time outside in nature. And this is not necessarily sports. This is often very much in the clouds. And I take people along, whoever wants to come along, and then things emerge. At the moment, it's a lot of open space gatherings. Poetry is a new thing that has come into this realm that I'm sharing. There's hypnotherapy that I've learned, and so, but those are just tools. Those are just instruments. I do a lot of writing. I share my writing with friends. I call it echo, and it's more now it's a practice. It's a presence. It's a rhythm that I'm trying to live and not teach. Just whoever wants to come along can come along.
I think that's actually quite fascinating in the sense of you saying, if you want to come along, great. Don't have to. No judgment.
No.
This is a choice. This is a choice you have made with your life partner, with your kids. This is your choice, and how you're choosing to matter, how she's choosing to matter, and how to show up with each other.
Yes.
And how you show up with each other and your community.
Yes.
Which I think is a beautiful thing. Not easy. Or was it easy?
The hardest thing I've ever done. Entrepreneurship is a piece of cake against it, because now I can hardly, you notice, I can hardly put it in a narrative that makes sense, but I have some words for it now. Like for a long time in the past 4 years, I had no words for it. But I had kind of accepted that this change needed to happen, right? So that's acceptance. But from acceptance to actually surrendering to it for myself, so letting go of identities a lot.
Yeah.
What it means to be a good father, a good husband, an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, this bike persona that I have, whatever that means. Between accepting to letting it go and actually surrendering, actually letting it go, the bridge in between is grief. I went through a lot of grief of letting all of these identities go and not say, and turning out, so this drinking my coffee black, it became my LinkedIn status, because I'm not a master of art. I'm not the person who traveled these countries. I'm not this biking expert. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not even Darco. That's just my name, right? But drinking my coffee black is something that I'm actually doing every day. It defines me more than a master's degree from 25 years ago.
Sure,
you know?
totally.
So letting go of all these identities, it came with a lot of grief in between.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Very much so. I think it's I can relate to that. I'm standing a year before getting pensioned, retirement. It's also because it's a very question, who are you? Who are we? And how do we make our choices? This is what I'm so curious about, how each individual makes their choices to matter, especially when we look at the future. Because there's so many changes coming.
Yes, it's here already. And the change that's coming, if we think of it binary, we have two ways of choosing to matter, or you know, what decisions we wanted to take, you know, fear or love, right? And we're holding on to so much and I think it's all these externalized identities that we have, and we don't want to give them up, and they're okay because they've served us, right? And sometimes we even trick ourselves into saying, yeah, but sustainability is very important, whereas what we actually mean is, can't we just keep it the way it's right now? Because right now, for us here in Switzerland, it's really good.
It's good, yeah.
And so we hold on to this, and it just causes then more grief. And we have to find this moment where we just say, okay, let's trust and let it go. It will be different. It will probably be very different. But maybe it can be way better than we can even imagine.
Sure.
Because that has also happened in the past.
Many, many times, many times. And you know, time is not static. It's the definition of time. It continues to move forward. It continues to change. The seasons come and go. And how do we embrace the seasonality as we look into the profound changes which are coming? I think that's really quite amazing. Is there something I should have asked you about that I didn't ask you about in the story of Darco?
There's tons of things. In the story,
And your choices to matter?
About the present, maybe, you know. What are you doing at the moment?
So, Darco,
yes.
what are you doing at the moment?
No, this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
This was a bad idea. I'm at the moment, actually, so in October, all of a sudden, I started writing poetry. Never happened to me before. And so I'm writing a lot of poetry. And interesting enough, it comes in English, which is not my mother tongue, right? And I have no idea where it comes from.
Intriguing.
It just flows, and it comes during walks in the forest, laying somewhere. And so currently I'm elaborating what this is about, and
Interesting.
how I'm about to share it or not share it, or what this means for me and my time now.
Intriguing. I look forward to this project. I really do. I mean, you have shared one booklet with me, which I enjoyed very much, and I look forward to the other ones to come. You know, and I think, you know, Darco, what I love about this journey which you have shared is there's some threads which pull through them, and yet there's also these sort of randomness which comes in as well. And the thread being this love to the mountain, this love to the purity of nature, and the chaos of nature. Because nature is also chaotic by definition. And that she also, with the swirls of the winds and the swirls of the moments, that chaos is energy.
There's this beautiful quote from actually a Marvel character superhero.
Uh-oh.
It's called the Vision. Vision is an artificial intelligence, right? A cyborg, artificial body, artificial intelligence. And so he always observes humanity, and it says, humans are odd. They think that somehow chaos and order are two different things. And I think the same can be found in the beauty of nature. This chaos is really a beautiful order.
I'm sure Rumi wrote something about that.
Probably, yes. Yes, too. Yeah, maybe.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
I think. But I love that, and I think that's actually not a bad place to begin to wrap up. So, where can we learn more about you and your work, Allegra or yourself? Where can one find out more?
If you just want to read about it, online. Google my name on the social networks, find Hello Allegra, you know, there's all the mountain biking, cycling world and that wonderful crowd. Analog in Pontresina. I walk the woods almost every day. Anybody can join. I'm easy to find. It's either by foot, by bike, by ski. Sometimes I have somebody come along. Sometimes I have more people come along. That's where I am. It's a very small village. Ask for me. Anybody's welcome.
That's really wonderful. It's a great invitation for many all over the world. I want to thank you very much, Darco, for being here with me, with us today, to sharing your story, your stories, your thread, your passion for the mountains, for giving back, for inviting others into your world. And I think that's a very powerful and beautiful thing. So thank you for that. I'd like to propose a toast to our collective future.
To your 2040, to our 2040.
To our 2040. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for listening today. It's really been a pleasure to share this story with you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon and meeting our next guest. And as always, do something today that makes a difference in somebody's life. Choose to matter.